against you. Oh, so yes, we are recording. So I think the thing we seem to forget a lot of times is, for the sake of stenographer, I think the files that we have two files. One is like the video file, which is like ginormous to send. The other is just the audio. So a lot of times the audio, it's hard. I don't know if it actually prompts you to say who's speaking to the stenographer, but we're paying for the stenographer. So I'd ask each of you to sort of, before you do speak, just say your name so that we can have that recorded by the stenographer. And
They do seem to get it.
Do they?
Yeah, in the transcripts.
It may have something that it pops up with each window. I've never seen the actual, I've never listened to the video part. I mean, the audio part. That would be, I guess maybe if I need to fall asleep after listening to us already for an hour and a half. Hear us again. So, and I'm just kidding because that was recorded. Anyway, so I'll start the introductions. I'm Bob Keene. I'm from Port Washington North. I've been the chairman for that's me.
Jennifer Wilson Pines, Village of Manor Haven.
Nora Hagenson, Mayor of Village of Baxter Estates.
Dan Fucci, Nassau County Department of Public Works.
Claire
Diane.
Dorfman.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No worries. Claire Dorfman, Village of Flower Hill.
Diane Sheehan, Village of Plandome Heights.
Don Richardson, Deputy Mayor of Plandome.
Annie Mendelson, trustee of the Village of Great Neck.
Mary Ann Del Monte, Councilwoman, District 6, that's Port Washington, the Plandome Villages, Muncie Park, and Flower Hill.
Aaron Molyneux, Legislative Aide to Councilwoman Del Monte.
Is that everyone? Tom Lang, Plandome Manor.
Samantha Wilder, intern.
And I think I'm the last one. It's Sarah DeHonorine, Executive Director. And this is the meeting of the Manhasset Bay Protection Committee on November 4th, 2021.
I'm also here, Mary Arnold, DEC, Long Island Sound Regional Coordinator.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so as we do every first thing, we always do it for every first meeting. I need somebody to make a motion to approve the meeting transcription by MGR reporting at the cost of $4.44 a page, not to exceed $600. Do I have somebody to make that motion?
So
I'll make
moved.
that motion. Diane.
Jen,
I'll second.
did you get that, Sarah?
So it was Diane made the motion.
And Don?
Aye.
and
Don.
seconded.
Seconded, right.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Oppose? I see none. Abstentions? That motion carries in. Thank you. The next, we'll be talking about the meeting, last minute meeting minutes, sorry. I don't know if you've all had a chance to read these before the meeting. At some point, I'm going to have somebody make a motion to accept them or discuss any corrections.
I'll make a motion. Just Nora Hagenson. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Somebody do a second.
Second.
Second was Jennifer, I think, first. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Oppose? Abstentions? Then that motion carries. Thank you.
Okay,
Next
so
on
our
the agenda.
quarterly financial update, I'm gonna try and put the file into the chat. And but also bring it up on the screen. Okay, so hopefully you can get that from the chat. Then also on the screen. All right, so this goes to, can't remember if it's, I think it's just to the very end of October. What we budgeted for the year is that, well, first line column is the line number so we can keep track. Second column is what the item is. Third column is what is budgeted more or less. And then the final column is what we've actually spent or had income. So right now we've got $29,400 from our dues out of 53,400. So we're still waiting on payment from Nassau County, but that should be coming through.
Yes, Dan Fucci, Nassau County, the county legislature has approved the IMA in a 19-0 vote on, I believe it was October 25th, and the 24,000 for 2021. So it's going through the controller's office right now. I just checked today, so I anticipate everything should be certified within the next few weeks, and then you can submit a claim voucher.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. And then as you go down, you can see the salary paid so far and what's budgeted for the year, how much we spent on supplies, the website, and then different projects and events, which we haven't done much because of COVID. So next year, hopefully this will be a little bit more interesting. And then we end at the bottom. You can see we're still, I'm going to scroll up quickly. So we started the year with $170,000 and currently we have $179,000. So given that, I believe we should leave our 2022 dues levels at the same as previous years, which was 1,800 for the villages, 6,000 for the town, and 24,000 for the county, if I'm remembering correctly.
Okay.
Do we need a motion for that, Sarah?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we keep the dues at the same level.
That was Don Richardson. And who wants to second that?
Dan Fucci, Nassau County, I'll second that.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Annie, you're muted. I didn't know if you,
I said aye.
oh, thank you. Okay. All right, then that motion carries. Thank you. And Sarah, this is Bob Keane, sorry. The budget that do we set that as a group, or is that something that's kind of just you work on?
That's kind of just something I work on, and I mean, it's pretty dynamic. So I try to give an update quarterly. I've kind of fallen off this year of where our standings are, but it's not something we really vote on as a group.
Okay. Just something like maybe at the beginning of the year, we sort of talk about what in the January meeting, sort of what the budget sort of is outlined for 2022. Just to kind of give us a heads up, but I know with the state and the new grants and things with money and this and that, I think we have to start, planning for that a little bit.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
Okay, so with that motion, then it starts a 60-day review period where all the municipalities can review, offer comment, and withdraw if they feel the need to from the committee without any kind of penalty. I'll send out emails or letters to each municipality, but also if you could just let your village boards and town boards let you know.
Okay.
So then we would vote to approve and finalize the dues either in January or February, whichever is more than 60 days from now. And then after that, the invoices go.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Okay. The next agenda item then would be the discussing DeVerca and Bartolucci and their, sorry, I got something in my eye. DeVerca and Bartolucci and amending their contract. You want to talk about that?
Yes, let me see if I can bring this up.
I think you sent everybody an email about the cost or the increase or to finish the QAP and the deucer and then the water quality report.
Yes. So just as a refresher, Diverka and Bartolucci, we have a contract with them to do our quality assurance project plan for a grant we got from DEC to pay for the water quality monitoring. And so there's been a lot of back and forth with DEC. And so in order for them to finish the QAP with another round of comments, reviews from DEC, and including things that we've added, well, I've added in, the total cost would be $1,500. Right now, they are, our contract is for $6,900 or $7,000 to complete the QAP. It was also to complete the data usability agreement, but we're not pursuing that any longer, at least not with them. We have a very large chunk of change in the grant to cover the development of a QAP. So $1,500 is not much out of that line item. From DEC standpoint, we budgeted $19,000 to pay for this development. So.
And that was, sorry, this is Bob. That was the development of the QAP and the deucer or the doer?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and second question is the person making the comments, is that Mary or is that somebody else?
No, that's, you mean from DEC who we're talking?
Yeah, who's on our call right now?
No, that's not Mary. It's
No, it's not me.
Okay.
from Albany, in the Division of Water and Quality Control.
Make sure we say nice things or make sure we don't like step on you. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not me. So sorry, but Sarah, who is the contact at our central office that you are speaking with?
It's Sue McCormick. I think she's in charge of the grant, and then Zachary Smith is our quality assurance officer.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So we've decided we're just doing a QAP for 2022. When that's done, we have to review the data and make sure it fits the quality assurance parameters we said we would do in the QAP. So the QAP is supposed to be finished, or the quality assurance plan is supposed to be finished end of December, and it's going to tell us it's going to tell DEC what we're going to do in our water quality sampling next summer, 2022. When we're done water quality sampling, we have to go back and quality assure that data. And then also DEC is going to want a water quality report, which we might be able to get funded. But so I asked Diverka and Bartolucci for figures for those things. So for them to do the data review and whatever documentation DEC requires would be between $2,500 and $4,000. For them to do a water quality report would be between $7,500 and $10,000. Would you like me to offer some commentary on that?
I'll start, but I mean, I think
Okay.
obviously from what I'm interpreting and how you're presenting it, and sort of like Rachel Maddow, like correct me if I'm wrong. But I think what you're saying is right now we have to finalize the QAP because that's not completed. And in order for the state to fund us or do everything else we're doing, we basically have to have the QAP in place for our sampling for 2022.
Yes.
At that point, we have the ability to hire somebody to do the deucer and the water quality report. But right now we need the QAP finalized.
Yes.
Right, and so everybody remembers the QAP is a quality assurance project plan, which basically spells out the methods, methodologies, testing methods, how you're sampling, so that every piece of data is reproducible in the same manner or it's taken within industry standards, so that the DEC or sometimes it's for lawyers or whoever you're dealing with it, so that they understand that the data is collected within a certain parameters that meet industry or DEC regulatory standards. So this way they know if it's the QAP is prepared, we're sampling it in a way, then the deucer basically says, yes, you sampled it how you're supposed to. The lab also did whatever they were supposed to do within the lab parameters and holding times and this or that or whatever. And then the data is usable, it's valid. So that's kind of what that means. So I think at the very beginning, we should start with, well, are you looking for a vote for all three, or you're just kind of giving us the right? Okay,
No, just the first one. The second one we might need, and the third one, I feel like it's something I would be able to do, and for less money than that.
agreed. And it depends on, this is Bob Keane again. I don't know what the parameters the DEC is going to require for a water quality report, but if it's just a summary of data points, then that's something easily that you could do, or anybody could do.
Yeah.
Or maybe even Samantha can help with that too. And that's a good experience to play with the data, or not play with, but present the data. The evaluation of the data, I don't know if that needs somebody who's more, that's what you pay for, I guess, if you're drawing trends or this or that. But again, I don't know what they're looking for.
This, I didn't think of asking Kevin about this, but it would be good to know how difficult it is to amend the contract. And if we should just take one vote for the first and second, or it's not too big a deal to do them separately. Nobody. have
So,
any thoughts?
but you,
Can I ask you a question? It's Mary Ann Delmonte. Do you mean the contract that the town of North Hempstead board approved for Manhasset Bay Protection Committee? Amending that contract?
Yes, that the town currently has with the Worker Bartlett. Yeah.
So you would have to do an amendment, and it would have to be passed through the town board again.
Okay.
The amended contract would have to be.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's that complication. I don't know. I don't know that I have enough information to make a decision on the second one right now. It'd be based on what comments and what our final quap looks like.
but again, the deucer isn't required until all the summer 2022 data is collected.
Yes, yeah,
So could we vote on that later?
yeah.
Because you were about to say something about a commentary about Tversky and Bartolucci, so I don't know if that's something that you wanted to add or talk about.
Oh, no, I said that already, that I really don't, maybe we need the second pot of money, but I don't think we need the third, because that struck me as expensive. And it's something, like you said, that Sam and I could do.
At least start, or maybe they could help you finalize it for a lesser of a cost. So,
Yeah,
so I guess what I'm asking is what are you looking for? A motion to approve the $1,500 to finalize the quap?
yes.
Okay, so then do I have a motion to, I guess, to, where is it? To
To amend.
to amend the town contract with Tversky and Bartolucci for $1,500.
This is Don. I'll make that motion.
Okay. Do I have somebody who wants to second that?
It's Nora. I'll second it for you.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Then that motion carries. Thank you.
Bob, you know that Erin and I are not part of the board, so we abstain from every vote.
Understood.
Okay.
Understood. We have a quorum.
Yes, okay.
So you want to take the next part, Sarah?
Yes, so at our last meeting, I had brought up wanting to purchase the pins of our logo, which the committee approved. I have not purchased them yet, though. I'll be doing that later this month. But the committee was also very interested in other promotional items, specifically clothing. So I only went to ePromos. Yeah, bummer. Okay, hold on a second. It's gonna give me a hard time.
Sarah, we may have to make a motion for the board to get you updated software, 2010.
I make that motion.
Yes, I think we've made that motion already. I need to get on top of it. That's with the kids in school, that should get done soon, hopefully. All right, let's go back over here. Hope this works. Of course it doesn't. All right, we're just gonna go through the slideshow like this. All right, so we talked, so I only went to ePromos and looked there just to try and make it as easy as possible. If we decide on something, I'll shop around, obviously, because we need a couple different quotes. And ePromos I chose because Mike Ertel seemed like he knew them and might be able to get us a discount, and we had ordered those canvas bags, the coloring canvas bags as giveaways from them in the past. So so this is what's available on epromos.com. Oh, and I just said all that. Okay, and it looks like our logo has 5 colors. There's a gray, yellow, green, blue, black. 1, 2. So that would be 5. If they also count the background as white, then that would be 6. That figures into the costs associated. So I looked at both unisex t-shirts and women's t-shirts. So this was one of the women's t-shirts I liked the most. So that's why that's the first one there. You have a minimum order you have to purchase. So for them, it's a minimum order of 12, but I based the price here on what happens if we order 24 pieces. So it comes out to $9.59 each. There's a $45 setup charge for 4 colors. So adding a color would be 50 cents. And I'm not sure if that is 50 cents just period, or it's probably 50 cents per item. So the total they gave me on the website was $275 plus shipping and handling. And I have this note that it's the cheapest women's V-neck that wasn't white. I don't like white. The cheapest women's t-shirt, and this only comes in white, is this one at the bottom. It's only slightly cheaper than the one above. Oh, except for that has a cheaper setup charge. But your minimum is 36 pieces instead of 12. So you would be spending at least $373. Any questions or comments so far?
Is it a thin material? Is it a thick material? Because if it's really thin, then I definitely say no white.
Yeah, I didn't look that deeply into it, but I could.
What about using Spectrum? So at least you can get an example.
Oh, okay. That's
Spectrum,
local, right?
Spectrum, and also what you could do is get a quote from Arena. They have a beautiful embroidery machines. So if you were going to get maybe if one person, I'm not on the board, I'm just making a suggestion. If one person was, if you were to get one piece of apparel, you could get a really nice embroidery in color. That would be really nice. Like, because baby Bob wants a polo shirt, but Diane wants a t-shirt.
Okay. And Spectrum will do that?
You would have to speak with them, but they are really, Stella is wonderful. And also Arena, you would speak to Chris Evasis. They have a whole showroom in the back of Arena Sports.
That's on Main Street.
That's 52 Main Street, and Spectrum is across from Town Dock.
Yeah, I've seen Spectrum. Is the Marina Sports right next to the Starbucks, or is that something else I'm thinking of?
No, I think it's over by in that Target Mall.
No. It's on Main Street.
Across from Gino's.
Main Street,
Yeah, it's across from Gino's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
A block or two from Vanderventer.
Okay.
It's right around where your office is, Sarah.
Yeah. Okay. So then I know where that is too. Okay. Well, it would be good to know what exactly we want. So
But
You can probably
I'm,
get,
I'm sorry, but Marianne was just saying, like, I think if they set up the embroidery machine and they get your logo in there, then you could just order the pieces that you want, and maybe that's cheaper than having to get a minimum of whatever.
Mm.
okay.
Maybe that's something that you can look at for pricing wise too, because I don't know how many people want a shirt. It's like, I think when you do the fairs, I've been a volunteer, I don't know how many times for Harbor Fest, and I'm wearing like my best whatever, but it doesn't say that I'm any, nobody knows that I'm in Hazlet Bay.
Okay. All right, well then let's just look at what the other options are and you can think about it. I can go to Spectrum. And did you have something, Diane?
No, I'm sorry, I don't. I have an itchy ear.
Oh, okay. All right, and then maybe I'll do a survey and see who wants what. All right, so then I looked at unisex t-shirts. Those obviously are a little cheaper. I also looked at polos. These are women's polos. They're obviously much more expensive, though this one, the cheapest one, was only $13 each. And then this is the least expensive. It's unisex polo or men's polo. We'd also talked about fleece. I just remember there being a yell out of different types of clothing. So there's also the option of fleece jackets. We can get a women's fleece jacket, men's fleece jacket, which might be good if we start doing more winter or colder spring activities, which is something I want to talk about tonight too. It's the least expensive fleece, but most of these things is going to be outdoor summer times. So I'm not sure we really want to go for a fleece jacket or a vest, but perhaps a rain jacket. That's an idea. And then I also looked at baseball caps. And then other ideas, they also have cardigans, hoodies, long sleeve t-shirts, and pants. So I don't know that our logo on pants would be the best idea. And then some other ideas I found was they have reusable color changing silicone straws, which I thought would be a good idea for us to consider instead of canvas bags. People kind of been turning their nose up at canvas bags, but we're trying to move people towards reusable items. And I think the color changing silicone straw, probably with like our web address on it, would be a good idea. And then I went on a boat cruise with the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation. I gave a presentation and they handed everybody a reusable pack of bamboo utensils, which I thought was really great too for us to think about when we go back to having boat tours and trying to just be more sustainable with what we do. And then also stickers. Kids love, I've had kids and adults love the giant stickers we have. So getting more of those, but also maybe some smaller ones with our logo on them. Those are more ideas to consider. I don't know what the committee wants me to pursue at the moment.
Sarah, do we have a budget for this? This is Don. I'm just wondering about the clothing, because I think there's probably the largest expense and where you may have the greatest difference of opinion as to what people want.
Yeah.
So whatever we decide on is going to be purchased by the committee. Is that it?
Yeah.
Do we have a budget then? Because these items are, range from $7 to 40 some.
We do not. I do put, let me see if I can bring this up. I do put money in every year for if we need to print things to hand out at events, or if we need a new sign. I think, I also have, this is small because this is usually bigger. It says tabling event supplies, so things like giveaways. It's only in the order of a couple $100, but like buying new silicone straws that we would give out at the table would go under there. this number this year is small because COVID's kind of stopped us from doing everything. But no, there's no budget for, there's no line item for clothing. It would be like a special off your expense.
I like the idea of having smaller, less expensive items that everyone can try to bring with them, or we might have a supply at any one event, and that would be a pin and or a hat. If someone doesn't have that particular piece of clothing, either it's dirty, it's in the wash, you can't locate it right away, or you forgot to bring it, maybe we could have hats or pins, and that would limit the expense. Or consider having people bring or select or buy their own piece of equipment, but pay for the logo. Just some ideas I'm throwing out to think about.
I think with Arena that once you've done the setup for the embroidery, you can either purchase one of their items of apparel or even give them your own. So that might be one way to go.
Yeah, I thought I heard
Right,
that. Yeah.
so I think, so this is Bob Keane again. Sarah, I think if maybe for the next meeting, before we make, think about purchasing, women's shirts or men's shirts and what size, then I bought too little, or everybody, I got largest, but everybody's a small, and I didn't want to judge anybody's size, you know. But I think from what Mary Ann was saying is if you find out how Spectrum or Arena work, and if it is just the cost of to set up the embroidery, and then we can figure out, then at that point you can say, hey, who wants what? And it's not like everybody's gonna be getting vests for this. I would imagine that you'd be getting a couple different shirts for yourself for attending all these different events you attend. And it'd be kind of cool to have you, having the show of Manhasset Bay, so people can either come up to you or whatever, as opposed to, but I don't know if everybody necessarily needs a hoodie or, I think, I think some people it's just simple for the people who volunteer, to attend an event and have a piece, a t-shirt or whatever, just to kind of say that you're part of Manhasset Bay.
Yeah.
You have to remember it's taxpayers' money.
Right,
Yeah.
right. That's kind of what I'm
Yeah.
going at, is that I don't want, if we're spending $2,000 on apparel, that only 3 or 4 people are the ones who are really doing most of the bulk of the volunteer work, then, that money that the mayor was complaining about spending, and we just put it all into bling for us, like, ooh, look at us. I think it's a worthwhile endeavor. I don't necessarily know it's needed for everybody, or if we are, then I think maybe it's something that Don was saying, is that maybe we go with a hat for everybody, to do it at events. Even a hat for me would be kind of cool, because at least it would, I think whoever brought it up was, and I think you started with the pin, was just sort of like, and I think Kevin brought it up too, was just attending the events. Sometimes it'd be kind of cool to have something that showed that we were part of this organization.
Hi, it's Diane Shan. I absolutely agree. Don, you made a good point. I think that the hats are, people forget, like people would show up, they'd say, I was running late, I didn't have time to go back and get my polo shirt, my t-shirt. But if you had a spare hat there, it's a nominal figure. You could give them another one. They could have it.
Mhm.
And the same with pins. I'm siding with hats or pins.
Okay.
But I think if you go back to Spectrum or Arena and you find out how much it is to set it up, then we could potentially just make the budget to get, you or Kevin or some of the people who attend whoever attends the Harbor Fest thing, we can make 5 shirts, and here they are, and that's the budget, as opposed to having to have a minimum order of 24 for women and then a minimum order of 12 for men, and then they're not the right sizes anyway. So, and then we just spent $1,000.
But I'm also thinking, I'm thinking hats, and this is why you're about to tell us something that you think is going to occur during the winter months. You sort of led into, and that's something else I want to talk about, like colder month events.
Mhm.
A hat is all season. You can wear it in the rain, you can wear it in the sun, you can wear it in the winter, you can wear it in the summer. You don't need a sweatshirt over it. You don't need a raincoat over it. You don't need, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of the least amount of money spent for something that's very visible. I mean, most sporting events, the hat is what's recognized.
This is Don again. Maybe we ought to consider something like a fleece vest. You can wear warmer clothes underneath it. You can wear a t-shirt for that matter, or one cotton shirt underneath that if it's a warmer day, and leave it open. So that seems to be more all season.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the lesser expensive items.
I don't know about that. These are the,
$30,
Yeah.
almost $30.
Or if we let people bring their own or buy something, we could give them a limited choice, such as a vest, a fleece jacket, or something on which we could pay for the logo. And there are all kinds of ways to go. If we go kind of that way, I would recommend limiting the number of pieces and maybe the colors, so that we don't have people coming in with 5 different color fleece jackets or 4 different color something else, just to make it a little more standard. That there's just some thoughts that I had. If you don't want to pay outright for a vest or for a fleece jacket,
okay,
I would pick a fleece vest and buy it myself, and put the logo, have the logo put on it. But we'd have to look into that, I guess.
okay. So I'll collect more information and we'll discuss again next meeting, which is in January.
That sounds like a plan.
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
All right, so the next item is talking about storm drain markers.
Sarah, I'm sorry
Yeah.
for interrupting. This is Don. Maybe you want to consider a, what is the app that we have for meetings?
New?
Where everyone can sign or check off something and we see what the greatest consensus is.
Oh, the
Maybe
survey,
after the
yeah.
next meeting, if we narrow these down a little bit and set out a questionnaire, you're not going to please everybody, but if you please most people with 1 or 2 things, all the better.
Okay, yeah, so a survey. You're talking about before the next meeting or after the next meeting?
I'll leave it up to you, but I think we need to
Okay,
discuss this and get more reaction from people. And maybe some people who are on tonight to start narrowing it down. That's kind of the way it looks. It's up to you.
okay. Okay, I can do that.
So moving on to storm drains
Mhm.
markers.
Yes, so I'm still waiting back for to hear back from most municipalities on how many or even if they want new storm drain markers.
Sarah,
So
does it cost the village or do we pay for that?
the committee pays for this.
Committee does. Okay, because then I have a count of how many I need.
Okay, can you email it to, or you can tell me right now?
We need 4.
Okay, okay,
Or I can email you. I can even text you.
okay.
I might have 4 in my bag.
You need 4, that,
Okay,
I told you,
Okay.
Sarah, we have plenty. I checked
Okay.
with Charles and he says we don't need any.
okay, I might have that down, but I'll write it down just in case. All right, so I wanted to just keep it on the agenda and keep everybody thinking about it. If I haven't gotten your number from you, let me know. And then also just to go over what, I forgot to bring the storm drain medallion with me, but just to go over what the other options are, which I didn't find very many. So the Almatech, they're all probably about the same size, but it's a round medallion, and it has, it's stamped. It has a fish on it, and it's colorful, and it says "Don't dump drains to bed." And
Can
they
you
get
make the
glued.
picture bigger? The
Yeah.
screen?
Yeah. Let me see how
Even using my glasses, it's not working.
Okay, so this, so what I'm describing is that it's metal. The other options are plastic. So this is what Ultratech makes. They're a little bit more colorful, but I don't see it lasting. Oh, Bob's got, that's what it looks like.
Yes, good. Is that one of the three you're gonna give me?
Yeah, I have to find 3 more, but I'll drop
Okay.
them off.
So it's metal. So even if somebody spray paints it, or if it gets cracked, it'll last, or you can still make out what it says. The other options are these plastic items. So, yeah. So it's either this plastic one or this plastic one. The prices are pretty similar, it seems, unless we go for something really nice. It's pretty similar between all the companies. So I just wanted to put that out there, because we're have to go for a sole source justification, and pretty much Almatech is the only one that makes these metal stamped ones that are higher quality. So I assume I need a motion, but I'm not sure, to just keep Almatech. They've supplied these before. They're the best ones out there. Bob's making a face.
No, I was trying to see if I was muted. I was just trying to understand your cost. It's $58 for how many?
20.
Oh, okay.
20.
So they're only a couple dollars each.
That's for aluminum. I couldn't find an indication of what we had purchased before. I don't think we purchased brass. We might have purchased stainless. Do you know what? Can you tell what that is?
This is aluminum.
Oh, okay.
And I put some of them on my own village years ago, and I think, I think when I gave pictures, and some of the tabletop things were my kids when they were like 5 and like 3, and they were like gluing them down, and there's a lot of them still around my neighborhood, so they do last. And my daughter's 24 now, so
Bob, what'd you glue them down with?
they, as part of the kit, they give you like a glue and a caulking
Oh,
gun.
okay. See,
So that's part of the expenditure, is you get a caulking gun and a couple glue things, and the glue is good for so many of these, and it
perfect.
sticks to concrete.
Well, that's a significant cost difference. I think we really ought to consider the aluminum.
Right. I think the aluminum is what we've always gone with. I think stainless and brass are a little over the top.
Yes.
But I feel like the plastic ones, I've seen those in some villages and towns and, water, communities, and sometimes they're half up and down, like, or they're cut,
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen them too. Like you can't make out what it says underneath, and it's scratched up. Yeah.
Well, plastic wears down too with weather. It's,
Mhm.
it's not meant to last. It lasts forever, but it's not meant to last forever.
Right.
I know you said this order is for 20. Where are they going specifically? And this may be my ignorance as a newer member here, so bear with me.
So we're not sure yet. I'm collecting numbers from all the villages.
I think sorry, I think the question is they go on storm drains on the streets.
Right.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking, like my purview is like Flower Hill, right? Like I'm just trying to understand like where exactly the 20 are going.
Well,
Are they on all of them? I just don't have a sense of what like the whole universe is.
Oh. Well, I mean, if we could keep chipping away, if you've got, you did one a couple years ago, you guys put out some. If you need, there's more storm drains that were not as high a priority, you can hit them this time.
I just wasn't sure what the total universe was, so that's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. And we buy them in boxes of 20, but we'll split them up. So you don't have to get 20. You can
But we
ask
can't
for
buy
more.
just 4.
Unless you steal them from Bob's backpack.
Okay, so today's discussion was just that we were gonna keep Almatech. I don't know how to pronounce it. Do I need a motion for that, you think, or? We'll get to.
How about a voice vote?
What are we voting on? Just keeping them as the sole
Yeah,
provider?
simply as the supplier.
But we're not buying anything for them yet, so do we need a motion to keep them for?
I'm at a meeting.
Probably not.
No, I wouldn't think so. They're currently who we use and we're not purchasing.
Okay,
Maybe we table that till next meeting. If we find that you have a need for them, then we pursue that further.
Okay.
I'm at a
Sure.
meeting.
okay.
Asset Bay.
All right, so then the next, any other questions or comments about storm drain medallions?
I think it's just following up with the villages.
Okay. So the next item was just to talk about the beach cleanup. So the beach cleanup went really great. Thank you to Sam for manning one station while I was at the other. So we, on September 25th, we met at 9:30 a.m. Samantha was at Manor Haven Beach Town Park at the boat ramp, which is where we usually set up. But this year we also went to Baywalk Park. So I had the setup over there. And we had over 100 volunteers.
Wow,
Most
that's
of them
Oh,
girl
great.
scouts.
Perfect. It's great.
Yeah, people are very excited about these events.
Mhm.
We picked up well over 200 pounds of trash, and I think some phenomenal number of individual pieces of trash. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but it was a great success. And I really enjoy doing them, and people get really excited about them. So this seems kind of like a no-brainer, but I just wanted to propose to the committee that we do these more often. Jennifer had talked about in years past, they've done, not us, somebody has done cleanups like every month to see how trash changes, but I think we should definitely plan for a spring cleanup, maybe in a couple of years do a winter cleanup.
Mhm.
And then also do different beaches on different days too. So, because there was some confusion with some people showing up at Manor Haven when I was expecting them at Baywalk, which actually wasn't really that big of a deal. But it probably costs about, it's a small cost. Like say it's $150 per beach cleanup, which it wouldn't be, because we'd combine costs and have like the same patches or the same giveaways for each beach cleanup, but it's fairly cheap. They're really good on the DEC reports. That's the annual MS4 permit reports that are required by the permit law. So any commentary, thoughts, or a month to target for the next?
I think it's a great idea, Sarah.
Yeah.
You could certainly do it in the winter when you have to pick a time when there's no snow.
Yeah.
Um,
And lower tides.
yeah.
Yeah.
March.
Okay,
Maybe.
March sounds like a good month. Maybe late March.
People are
Yeah,
starting to hanker to get outside.
Yeah.
It's just that if I was picking up a lot of stuff off around the water line, and I guess the water might be cold.
Yeah, we'll have to caution people against touching the water.
Do we have a rain date last time?
No, because rain dates haven't worked out with having
Okay.
people show up. So I figured if we staggered beach cleanups, like have one like at that was the other question, is if like we could plan beach cleanups on Saturdays and Sundays, because I think we're missing the Jewish community. They can't come out on Saturdays, but they could come out on Sundays. But if we staggered them, had one week and another 2 weeks later, if it rains we already have the other backup date.
Well, speaking
That's a
for the
good
West,
idea because some people are away for one weekend, but they'd be around for the other too.
oh, as a Jewish person, I would say that I came out on Saturday. I considered it a mitzvah, so
Okay,
I didn't have a problem. It's the ultra Orthodox who worry about coming on Saturdays, and same with Sundays. Like, yes, you're gonna have people going to church, but they're not working all day either. So they're not gonna clean up because they went to church.
Well, I specifically don't come on Saturday because of that. So, I mean, if they did
Again-
it on Sunday, it would be a little bit easier.
Again, I'm not trying to downplay anything. I'm just
No,
trying
no,
to
I'm just
say-
saying, like, if there was another opportunity, it might be, you know,
Yeah.
a little helpful.
I appreciate that, Ian.
You could stagger the days too, like have it on a Saturday one time and then on a Sunday the next time, you know, you could do
Right.
something like that too.
Yeah, but I think the intent from Sarah is that you wanted to do it more than once a year on the International Beach Cleanup Day. I totally agree with you. I think it's a great thing. I think, as one of the pushes though, is like if you start getting the Girl Scouts who already have that patch or Boy Scouts who have that patch, like maybe the cost of the patches seem relatively insignificant. If they can come and they can pick the one that they want, and if they got their sash and, I think
Yeah.
it makes it that much better for them because they don't want to put 3 of the same things on their thing. And that seems like our biggest volume of people are all the kids.
oh, yeah. Yeah, and they're very excited about getting those patches.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It was a great
Right.
idea from Jennifer.
That is a good idea. It's a great way, as you say, to engage the kids
Mhm.
because they get a little reward for doing this.
Right.
Okay, so for our next meeting in January, I will pick a date and new patches to purchase for the
Okay.
committee to vote on.
Okay.
Good.
Next
Okay,
item, Google Calendar invites.
yes, so right now to alert you of the meetings, I only send out the emails. I was wondering if people wanted an actual, like a calendar event that came electronically. Or well, more, it won't be confusing if I send out a calendar event at the same time as an email reminder.
The emails are fine for me. I mean, I don't know how others feel. But the emails are, I mean, I read them, so unless there are people who don't read their emails.
I think what Sarah is getting at though, is with the invite though, is if you accept, then I think she knows how many people are accepting. As you get the email, she doesn't know whether they're coming or if they're not coming.
True.
And then she's
true.
emailing again and again. So right at that point in time, you could say accept or decline or tentative, so, and then she can harass you if you're tentative.
Also, what's
Right, but it also puts it, if you run a Google Calendar, it puts it on the calendar with all the pertinent information like the Zoom link, which I find very convenient.
Okay,
And I don't
Okay.
have to go searching around for the email that
Yep.
had the Zoom link.
Yep.
Right, I do the same, but I'm more of an Outlook person. I do everything through Outlook.
Mm.
So, but I
Okay.
can easily adapt to Google Calendar.
I just wanted, so I'm the one that asked Sarah to ask this, because when I'm always getting Sarah's invites, I have to then go to Outlook. Outlook is better than Google, just so you know. And then like today I had it, and then I had to take all your information and add it to the calendar, where then you just go into that night and it has your agenda. It has all the information that you wanted, and it also has the Zoom link. So everything relating to that meeting is there. And it's just so easy. And it reminds you also, you have a meeting in 30 minutes. You could set it up to remind you a week in advance, however you want it. It's a really, and if you wanted to, Sarah, if you wanted to send a reminder, you just go in and say, reminder, or here's an update, I'm adding the agenda. It's very, very easy. And you just create a group in Outlook, and you'll find it very beneficial.
okay. do Google and Outlook not communicate?
I don't think so.
Okay.
If you're having town email, you're using Outlook.
Okay. So is there a preference for Google or Outlook?
Most people use Outlook,
Okay.
but I don't know.
I've never heard of Outlook.
Outlook is Microsoft, so
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I hate Outlook.
I use
don't
Outlook.
have it.
I
don't
refuse to even set it up.
I
But you
use
can
Outlook for work.
actually, I mean, it's a little more work for you, Sarah, but I get plenty of things where they've got all the calendar options and you just choose the one that you prefer.
Okay. 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 I'll try and have that set up for the next meeting then on both Outlook and Google.
And
There's
the
not
next-
anything else, is there? Another platform?
No.
Those are the two majors. What was the next question? Meetings in person, yes or no?
I think this was a carryover from the town had gone back to in-person meetings and we had lost the emergency declaration. But in September, Governor Hochul signed new legislation to allow public meetings to still be done by video conference, just along with, we have the transcript and the meeting minutes. So more, I left it as a reminder that we'll be continuing on Zoom for the foreseeable future due to the pandemic.
And Sarah, this is Bob, sorry.
Mhm.
What's the average cost for transcription?
It's been all over the place. It can be anywhere from 150 to 350. Like really long meetings are 350 to 400.
So that's $3,600, $1,000 to $3,600 per year to run the remote.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I did it, a line item here, transcription, yeah. So I have $3,500 estimated. So far, we had spent $975, but I'm still waiting on a couple invoices or claim forms to put through more payments.
Again,
In other words, we should talk less. Maybe we all need flashcards.
That was Jennifer.
That's what I.
All right, let's move along.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? If the meetings are recorded, then why do they need to have a transcript?
It's the law, I think. The state
Yeah, it's the law.
requires
Is
it.
that it?
And that's why it's expensive. The transcript is expensive.
Because I know for the village, for our village meetings, they're recorded, but usually they're just summarized and the summary is admitted. We don't have a transcript of everything unless it's a hearing. But if it's not a hearing and just a general meeting, it's adequate for like just to have the meeting minutes. That's why I don't recall over the first year of the pandemic of having this expense, at least for our village.
Yeah, it's written into the law. I can look at it again. It was written both into what Governor Cuomo did and then also what Governor Hochul just did.
Right. Our meetings are when we are back to in-person meetings, but when we had to have them transcribed, it was both that had to be done, and it was costing the village a lot of money.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to check with my village clerk and see, because I don't recall that coming on our abstract.
Okay. All right, so updates. At the last meeting, it came up that the Long Island Sound study is getting, possibly the infrastructure bill didn't pass, but they're probably going to be getting a lot of money over the next 5 years, like tens of millions of dollars, not $100 million. So it had come up and it's been a struggle over the years to try and get the water quality monitoring we do and Hempstead Harbor does as a line item into either the state budget or the Long Island Sound Studies budget. So at the last meeting, it came up that we should push to get it in the Long Island Sound Study, but I talked to Eric Swenson, he's the director of Hempstead Harbor Protection Committee, and Carol DiPaolo, she's the head of the Coalition to Save Hempstead Harbor, and they do the water quality monitoring for the Protection Committee. And they've both kind of said, we've tried for years, it's just not going to happen. So I just wanted to pass that along to you, that we're not going to push for that at all. Okay. And then I have oyster restoration on here, but I don't have any updates on that. Just it's been coming up again in conversations. We already kind of went over the 2021 dues and IMA. Everybody's signed and everybody's sent in their dues except for Nassau County. And we also went over the DEC water quality monitoring. So our water quality improvement plan, which is funded by the Department of State. So we currently the town attorney's office is drafting a subcontract with Nelson Pope and Voorhees to take on this work. And I had a phone call with Irene from DOS. She advised us to form a subcommittee that would review all of the products that come from Nelson Pope and Voorhees. So I had a question for the committee as to whether the full committee wants to review the products Nelson Pope and Voorhees sends, or if we should form a subcommittee. So it would be it's a lot of documentation that we'll be doing over the course of the next 5 years for this water quality improvement plan.
And Sarah, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
This is Bob Keenigan. Is that time that we're reviewing this, is that time that we can like add towards our match?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's hard to say if you have the whole committee. I don't think it's a whole committee. I think it's a subcommittee, and I think it's going to be somewhat technical. I don't think everybody on the group's going to understand it all to the point that's going to have a valid concern back to making significant comments other than the subcommittee presenting to the board and then addressing comments or questions there. But I think that the subcommittee is probably needed.
Okay. So the current subcommittee we have is myself, you, Bob, and Jennifer, and then Kevin. Do we keep that subcommittee? Is anybody else really interested in this plan and wants to be super involved?
I definitely volunteer Kevin because he's not here to speak for himself.
The mission of that committee would be to recommend a limited number or maybe one or two for each type of product, each result that we want. Is that what you have in mind?
Yeah, so they would review, offer comments back to Nelson Pope and Voorhees, comments and edits that wouldn't necessarily be sent to the whole committee, though we would keep everybody up to date on it. And then would also possibly be involved in the meetings we have with DOS and the Nelson Pope and Voorhees, and the Nelson Pope and Voorhees is a subcontractor. So it would be hands-on. There's a lot of tasks with different documents that are going to be developed. And there's also community outreach that the subcommittee would probably be involved in to some extent.
Do they offer a scaled down report that we could use ourselves for our constituencies, or I don't know, to the media or something? Or is that out of line for what we're doing?
I don't know. I don't think we included that in our task list, but it's something a subcommittee could generate based on the full document Nelson Pope and Voorhees produces.
There previously on usually there's an executive summary at the beginning of it because they know perfectly well that no one's going to read, 400 or 600 pages.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's kind of known thing that's expected in every type of plan.
Okay, your plan sounds good.
Does anybody want to be on the subcommittee?
No time, Sarah.
Okay.
I'm not
Sarah,
technically
Sarah,
involved.
at the present time, I simply don't have the time, but I would consider it maybe in about a year and a half, if you said it's a 5-year cycle.
Mhm. Okay.
You could put me down.
Was that Bob?
Yes, that was Bob.
Okay. Okay, and then I'll ask Jennifer and Kevin if they still want to be involved offline.
Sarah,
Yeah,
you told the committee how we met about oysters and the restoration and my,
no,
and my goals? No?
no, I haven't told them. Do you want to tell them, or is that still kind of under
I
development?
mean, I've had just so everyone's aware, I'm 4th generation in Port Washington. And when I was a kid, we used to shellfish in Manhasset Bay. One of my goals is to get shellfishing back to Manhasset Bay. We have to go through the DEC. So our planning department has had has 2 phone calls into the DEC about oysters and doing a suspension oyster farm. And then, making it safe and everything. So I just want to let everyone know we are at the town trying to work on something with oysters in Manhasset Bay, because one oyster filters 50 gallons of water per day. In 5 years, our bay could be so much cleaner. So I have a proposal, like a time frame, and I have the cost for 5 years. So hopefully, first we have to, talk to the DEC, and then we have to go through all the permitting process. But it could improve our water quality drastically. And I just hope this is one of my goals, and hopefully it comes true. But I invited Sarah to 2 of the meetings. One meeting we had at the town, internal meeting, and one meeting we had with actually an oyster restoration farm. That would be one of the bidders. We would have to put this out for an RFP. We are looking into grants to see what's available too. So that's my update.
And, yeah, we would offer letters of support for the project at the least. Yeah.
This sounds like something Science Museum would be very interested in expanding their curriculum over the next 5 years for the
Right.
students, hands-on training in the Bay.
Tom, I know you and Hilda, because in the proposal is basically, outreach and community support, and basically bringing the whole purpose behind this. It actually will bring people into as a team, and it will be about teaching everybody about the Bay and what an oyster can do. And there are so many people that don't even know that the storm drain that they're shoving a plastic bag down to winds up in our bay. They don't get it. So it's definitely, this plan has a lot of outreach and community support budgeted in here. So I know if I get this through, I'll be knocking on your door, Tom.
Yeah.
Don't you worry.
Perfect.
I'll be knocking on all your doors, just so you know, to get you all behind this project. Because I mean, just think about it. How great would it be? I mean, it wouldn't happen overnight. It's going to take years, but how great would it be to get shellfishing back? I just couldn't believe how much I've learned about, oysters. There's also like scallops and mussels and things. But the person that we met with really said, like, they feel, I mean, the DEC is going to be the one that tells us what we can and cannot do. But they really feel that oysters would be best. And it would not be something that you put, it's like, you suspend it. You know, it's above ground. There's warning signs all over because you can't eat the shellfish. That it's actually filtering the water. But I'm hoping, and you know, this was done out east, so hopefully we'll be able to get an answer from the DEC of what we can and cannot do, just to get a rough idea, and we'll take it from there. But this has been on my list while I was even running. I didn't tell anyone about it, but COVID hit. So now 2 years later, I'm just getting into this.
Wonderful.
Very nice.
Where would the proposed location be?
Oh, we are not even there yet. It would be
Oh.
in Manhasset Bay, probably near the town dock.
I see.
But I mean, you know, it depends on the DEC too.
Mhm. Right.
Aren't they doing this in Oyster Bay? There's another
Yeah.
big project going on.
Rob-
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob Craffa is doing a project that's in certified waters though, so it's easier for them to get permits from DEC to do it because you can't take shellfish.
Isn't Manhasset Bay on the 303
Yes.
D list for not shellfishing?
Yes, we're supposed to be, a portion of Manhasset Bay is supposed to be clean enough to take shellfish for commercial purposes, and we are not. So we're on the naughty list.
Right, the 303 D list of impaired water bodies.
Yes.
So
It was very interesting. The person I met with, and Aaron, do you remember the name? I was hot. I can't remember the name of who I met with. I have it in the office. I didn't bring
Josh Klaus.
all my files home. But it was so interesting. Like they take these oysters, because obviously you can't eat these oysters, and they go, you know, they take them out and they get to a certain size, they take them out because they, you know, you cannot eat these and you don't want anyone to eat them. And there's all these things that they can do, but we just have to get the DEC on board. And I hope that they'll do this, because who doesn't want to clean up the water quality in Manhasset Bay? We all do. And if this is a way of doing it, it'd be great. I'm very excited.
Thank you.
Good
Thanks
luck.
for giving the update. All right,
All right.
that's all the updates I have. Anybody else have anything? Other than our next meeting is January 20th.
Okay.
Are there any municipal updates?
I saw the county was doing something in Baxter Estates.
What, say that again, Bob?
Was something happening with the county and the culvert or the drainage structure or something from your pond into the bay?
For the pond, I don't know, you have to ask Dan.
I saw county guys working.
Oh,
Is that the kudzu
No,
treatment that would also have been at SMLI?
I saw county workers on the street, unless it was just street
oh, the
repairs
other
because it's
day.
a county
That's it,
road.
'cause we haven't heard about anything that's happening.
Okay.
That could be that sinkhole. Shore Road was repaved, and if you look, it's right by the entrance of the train of the parking lot. Is
Yeah,
that what
yeah,
you're talking about?
yeah.
There's a sinkhole there, and the county was, I guess, notified, and now it's a metal plate that's over it.
Oh, so maybe that's just because it's a county road.
Yeah, they
Not-
haven't,
not a
they
county-
haven't done very much, I'm afraid. I don't know what they were doing, but they weren't really doing that, unfortunately.
It must have been a road repair then, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was something, but we keep after them, but so far I haven't gotten any kind of definitive information.
I do have, this is Bob Keating, and I do have one more thing that's been on it's not really on the agenda, and I'm not sure how to, usually Kevin was somebody I can bounce ideas off of. He's not on this call right now, but Sarah has requested a raise. Her last raise was in 2018, so I did want to bring that up. I think it's.
I need to leave for that discussion.
I don't know. I guess the question is, and this is where I was trying to.
Variance,
Yeah,
nodding your head,
I think you need to step away.
Okay. Should I? All right, if I leave, I think the meeting will keep going. Let me stop sharing my screen. Do you want to discuss this now?
I
Sarah, you
just,
can turn the hosting over to somebody else.
Okay, let me see. All right, leave meeting. All right, you'll have to let me back in. I'm gonna make, Bob, I'm gonna make you the host.
okay,
You'll have to let me back in.
okay.
Okay.
Wait, you know what? I think if you go to, you guys have to step in exec session, I think, or,
We've never really done that.
right, so, because,
I guess the last time we did it was out in the open. I guess my question is like, how do we, Kevin is usually our, Robert's Rules of Orders type of
Right.
person. So I guess my question is, or should I wait until January to bring it up offline with him beforehand and figure out how to bring it in front of the board? I know Sarah came up to me within the last couple, the last week or so, and kind of was like, it's been a long time since I've done it. I don't really meet the month, the budgetary means, that we put out every year. And you saw the projections, like the money that is allocated versus the money that she's collecting for the salary. I think, the value she brings to us obviously is something that we can't just replace, very easily. Nor would we want to. And the things that she's done in the grants that she's gotten and stuff like that, it's, I think it's worthwhile. It's just a matter of, I'm not sure the semantics on how to do that. And I didn't want to let Sarah leave the thing without sort of letting us know that this was on the table. So I guess I'm looking for a little insight as to how to proceed.
I think that there was, if I recall correctly, there was a not to exceed total.
I'm sorry, Jennifer, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
I think what Jennifer was saying is there's not to exceed total, like salary,
Okay,
I think that was $37,000. And I think from the projected amount that you showed for 2021, it was like 16 or 18,000.
Yeah, there was a not to exceed 20 hours per week. But then the committee has set the hourly rate. Should we go back to Kevin and come up with a plan for January then? Where we have to kick people off at the end of the meeting or something?
I didn't know.
That
Kevin
sounds
was-
more organized.
I'm throwing it out there because Sarah just brought it up to me recently. I didn't want Sarah not to think that I was forgetting about her. I'm trying to figure out the
Oh,
best,
thank you.
most logical or legal or within the realm of what I'm supposed to be doing. I thought I forgot Kevin was not going to be here, so I guess I could bounce that up to him. We can come up with a plan and then present that at the next meeting.
Okay.
I can
So-
tell you what we did at the BID, at the Business Improvement District, when the chairman or the president basically had a meeting with just the people on the board, and they all discussed it openly. It was an exec session, and then they decided what they were going to do. There was a vote taken at the exec session, and then at the next meeting, they announced what they were going to do. I'm just telling you what they did.
Okay, I'll talk with Kevin and make a plan. And I guess
Okay.
since we're not meeting in December, we'll discuss it for January.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Is there anything else then? Then I
Any
guess
other small updates?
I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Well, thank you, Bob, for bringing that
Oh.
up and remembering, because I kind of forgot.
Maybe what you want to do is send out an email if you have a proposal or if Sarah's made a proposal. Just send
Okay.
out an email. To the committee.
I'll try to call Kevin first, get an idea for what he wants, and then I'll send it to the board to consider, and then I guess we can either go to executive session or, or we meet somehow without Sarah. I know trying to get people is hard enough, but I think it's a worthwhile discussion and probably a little overdue.
I agree.
I agree.
Thank
Could
you.
we possibly meet maybe like 15, 20 minutes before the next meeting? Could we go online
We could,
and then it would just be the same night and then Sarah could join us, or you could hand the meeting over to her at 7:30?
okay,
Bob, if we need to have a separate meeting, I have hosting capability.
Okay,
Most for my chapter, Audubon chapters, public meeting.
okay. I'll get a plan together and go from there.
Okay.
Good.
All right, so do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
I don't know who gave the motion.
I'll make the motion.
All right, thank you, Diane. I don't think I need a second.
No.
So on that note, I'll say, see you guys. Have a safe, happy holidays and a
Yes.
happy new year. And I guess we'll see you soon.
See you in January.
Same to everyone. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Bob.
Happy
Bye,
holidays.
everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Weird to say happy holidays.